faith in Jesus will grow only insofar as you're willing to die. So, Cole, it's okay if you always win at the bowling alley. But when it comes to arguing, listening, and understanding grace, while it may feel like dying, it's the way of love and growth. And Grace, growing up in the Lambros household, I know you can hold your own in an argument. But again, you only win. You only win the argument when you make it your goal to really understand Cole and his viewpoint and the emotions behind that viewpoint. And arguing is pointless and destructive if you forget Jesus and his demand that you desire the good of the other, even when it feels like death. I don't think it's an accident that first parable talks about the kingdom, actually both parables talking about the kingdom is growing from a seed. Seeds only sprout and survive if they are surrounded by soil. So too, love and faith continue to grow when we are rooted in humility. A word that comes from the Latin humus, meaning the earth. So humility is more than being down to earth. It is, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, Dominican, I have to throw it in, along with faith, the foundation of all the virtues. Humility is essential to the growth of your relationship with each other and with God, because it pertains to what you strive for and how you see yourself. Being humble isn't so much thinking less of yourself, but fearfully, wonderfully made, after all. Rather, it's thinking about yourself less. It's fundamentally about recognizing your utter dependence upon God and obeying Him who desires only what is truly good for you. Humility is a death for us because we are choked by the weeds of pride, every one of us. Growing in humility means, according to St. Thomas, acknowledging your shortcomings and at the same time not being deterred by hardship. It means recognizing that you're not capable of great things unless you work with God and discern what it is that He is calling you to. So if you want your relationship of love to grow and bear fruit, if you want to nurture faith, don't necessarily focus on them. Maybe instead focus on growing in humility. Everyday humility starts with praying together, acknowledging to yourself and each other that apart from God's help, your marriage will fail. Jesus Himself tells us, apart from me, you can do nothing. But for God, all things are possible. Humility means some days going to work at what may not be your dream job, but doing it anyway as an act of love and as a way of supporting your spouse, your family. Humility means recognizing the goodness of your spouse and acknowledging it with heartfelt praise and gratitude to that person and to God who gave him or her to share your life. St. Thomas observes also that the humble person is not in a hurry to speak. And when they do, they don't talk too much or over-exaggerate or look down on the other. It's interesting that the soil is hardly mentioned in these two parables, but it's there. It's essential for the growth of the kingdom, because humility is that soil in which the kingdom of God grows, and in which your sacrament of marriage will resemble the faithful covenantal love of Jesus and His church. Nurture your humility with frequent confession to Jesus in the sacrament of reconciliation and to each other, so that you learn to both receive and give forgiveness. to this altar of sacrifice, where we remember Jesus' humility of accepting even death on a cross. Your relationship is made public in the sacrament of matrimony. It's like a small, fragile shoot piercing the soil and suddenly exposed to the punishing phoenix sun and desiccating wind. It should be staked to something strong, something sturdy to protect it and to keep it growing upright. And there's no better stake than the cross of Jesus Christ, who has given you an example and who strengthens you with his very self in the Eucharist. So, Cole, Grace, may your love, rooted in humility, grow and bear fruit, not only in children, but in the people who will find a place of shelter in that little bit of the kingdom of God that is your home and your work and the personal vocation the Father has prepared for you as a couple and each of you as beloved children. And may God bless you today and every day, and may you recognize in the family and friends